Hello everyone, this is Dr. Ilyas from the Department of Education, Hazara University, Mansehra. This video, the aim of this video is to introduce students of education to the concept of comparative education and to, to brief students about the meaning and scope of comparative education as a component of the teacher education programs at the BS education level. So you can see a comparative education is an important component of many teacher education programs around the world. Comparative education is a combination of two words, comparative and education. And so you can see that from the combination of these two words that in this subject we actually compare education in terms of its aims, means, and outcomes at various levels across countries and cultures. Now, what is the scope of comparative education? Scope basically means what are the areas of interest for this particular subject. And so you can see when we compare education, these are the things that come to mind when we do the comparison. The first thing is education begins with some philosophy or aims and objectives. So what we do actually when we compare education is to begin with what philosophies, aims, and objectives different systems of education have in and outside a country. The second thing then is we also need to compare what are the curricular and co-curricular activities, including syllabi, teaching methods, roles and responsibilities of teachers and students, and similarly teacher-student relationship and other things. The next thing that comes in the fold of this comparative education is comparing educational infrastructures, that is building facilities and these kind of things. Then comes evaluation and examination methods. As you know, that different education systems use different evaluation and examination methods. So it is important that we also compare evaluation and examination methods across systems of education. The next thing is basically the types and layers of education. So what are different types of education in and outside a country that we can compare? And the last one that I could think of, there might be other things as well that we can do comparison, but the administration and supervision of education. So at least, so there is this list of 6 factors identified here that we can compare across education systems, but there could be others as well. Some explanation of some of these concepts, like for example, when we say educational systems across countries and even inside one country vary a great deal in terms of philosophies, aims, and objectives. For example, education systems in more democratic societies will revolve around philosophies based on individual freedom and independence of thought and action. In contrast, education systems in more authoritarian societies or countries will be less inclusive of ideas that promote individual freedom and more of those that promote preference for collective good or individual freedom. So you can see like there will be a big difference in the education in terms of philosophy related to education system in countries with different political systems. Then the next thing, for example, is the curricular and co-curricular activities across systems in education will be different. Uh, and so, similarly, and these curricular and co-curricular activities will depend again on the aims and objectives of education and also on the infrastructure and facilities available. Similarly, there are other aspects and scopes of comparative education. For example, evaluation system. Evaluation system across education systems vary, might vary a big deal. And similarly, administrative setups and the types and levels of education in one country or across countries might vary a lot. So, what we can see here basically is a brief introduction to the concept of comparative education. We do comparisons. So, in this introductory um, session, I introduced the concept and meaning of comparative education, and then I went into the scope of comparative education. In the next presentations, I would like to go into the importance or a need for comparative education. I hope you have enjoyed the presentation so far, and I know you will have a number of questions. So if you have questions, uh, you can ask those questions in the comment section below this video. Thank you for your attention. Thank you. Take care.